Hello everyone and welcome to New 26 for this week. And boy oh boy, this episode is weighty, very weighty. Because it talks about something that is pretty personal to me. And also a tough thing for most mothers or divorcee parents, and that's the whole idea of bringing a new parent into the family, being a stepmother or stepfather, which I've had both sides of that. I've had a couple of stepmoms from my dad, and I've had a couple of stepdads from my mom. And it's always most difficult for the new dad or new mom to connect with the current family dynamic, especially in my case, where a disability is part of the deal. It can be extremely difficult. Sometimes families bond correctly, rightly, and other times they don't. And as a step parent, it's hard to gauge the other person's interest, meaning the child. And sometimes it's hard for the child to bond over your interest. You just feel weird. Kids know these things. They know when something is quite not right or when somebody's different, especially when the former parent happens to not be around anymore. Not in the sense of a divorcee child, but in the sense of unfortunate death. And especially if the child really connects with her previous parent, it can be hard to bridge that gap and impossible to do so. It's a real challenge for those step parents out there, and that's what Common Ground is about. Common Ground has a special caveat for this episode, not only in its moral reasoning of not pretending to be something you're not to get the approval or love of another, being the main moral here, but because of the particulars. Patton Oswalt returns as Quibble Pants from 2 seasons ago. Now, the big thing about Quibble Pants is he's found a love in his life. And that love in his life has a child. Now, the thing you have to realize in this is that Patton Oswalt's real life daughter and real life second wife are voicing the particular wife and child here. And this is when this episode takes a very special and weird turn. Knowing this fact puts the episode especially in a different light. There's actually a recent interview with Oswald that expands on the message here directly from him. So I'd use the internet and try to track that down to add some additional context that I can't provide. But as for the episode in the Pony World, Common Ground acts as a sequel to Buckball Season, an episode quite a few seasons back here on New 26. Buckball has exploded in Equestria and has become, much like professional basketball did in real life, a fan favorite sport. Everybody wants to play it, driven by the success of Team Ponyville, Fluttershy, Pinkies, and Snails, winning games, winning championships, being dominant. And it just so happens that a Buckball Hall of Fame is being built. And they're the first three inductees in Appaloosa. For this, Rainbow Dash, because Applejack is being way too lazy and has other prior engagements, has asked Rainbow Dash to explore every exhibit of the museum for her. Great, Applejack. Great friend you are there. However, Rainbow Dash runs into Quibble Pants, who happens to want to explore the museum as well. Mainly for his new sun pony and her daughter, who's a big sports fan and a big buckball maven. So he arranged this trip to get some brownie points with her. And he's willing to try everything. So Rainbow, seeing how much he cares and how much he wants it to work, throws her head into the ring to try to help him become more athletic and sporty. But of course, this is Quibble Pants we're talking about, and comically it goes nowhere. But the big thing to note here is Rainbow's not doing this for her own ego or to self-prop. She's doing this to genuinely help and assist and to coach, which is something she's always been good at. Everything from Hurricane Fluttershy to other episodes, and even Equestria Girl. She's really good at, well, giving sporting advice. But every attempt that Quibble Pants makes drives the new stepdad wannabe away from the young daughter, because the young daughter is smart enough to see right through it, even when they get dragged into a halftime stunt. Yep, that happens. It goes badly. It's only when Quibble stops pretending and being the stat-latent, book-loving nerd that he is over Buckball, strangely enough, keeping it within subject, that they finally begin to connect to one another. And it seems like everything is gonna go nice and well for old Quibble in the end. But the real stars of this episode happen to be the Oswald family themselves. The two characters are really, really believable here. Especially the daughter, showcasing signs of disattachment or not wanting to trade the new dad for the old dad. Things that happen with real stepkids. Like myself sometimes in my younger life. Some kids really struggle with this, and it's a hard character to pull off. But the episode does an excellent job in pulling this off well. and the mother character is also very good at being a mom and trying to keep Quibble on the up and straight, even knowing that Quibble is trying too hard and repeatedly tells him to stop. God, I hope I find some pony in my actual life that can be that nice, caring, but also drive a willing stake when I get too far out of control. It's a lovely, true, and realistic dynamic that hits you right in the feels. Yeah, there's some comedy with Snails becoming a big-time sports athlete due to Snip's ability to agent his way up endorsement deals. Yep! Snips could really be Equestria's first sports agent because he's really good at it. And everything from Buckball season sticks. This episode is a big continuity nod to multiple episodes here. But it's really the heart of the piece and the moral of it and the family dynamic that makes this episode really stand out. It's a hard episode to review because to be negative in any way is kind of tricky given the subject matter. Yes, Rainbow wanting to do her typical overkill and being totally determined to make the sporty athlete out of Quibble Pants is typical Rainbow Dash annoying. But at least her heart's in the right place here, so I can kind of allow it. But it's really the Oswald family that carries this piece, and the heart and soul of it. Everything just feels not only realistic, but right. This episode is loaded with a lot of heart and inner meaning that's different than most episodes of this series, given the unique circumstances that played into this episode's creation. That's why I have to give props to Patton and his entire family for a 6 out of 6 job, which this episode also gets the 6 out of 6 tag. This sequel to Buckball season is not like any other episode in the series, touching on an extremely adult and touching manner with realistic and heartfelt class. Plus, also dealing with sports and how not everybody's the most athletic. Also, learning to be okay with that. Hey, a double moral. As well as great guest starring performances that will leave you feeling the feels all the way around. Yet another great episode in season 9. By the way, this is now 4. Yep, we've done 6 episodes thus far. 5 of them have been nearly perfect scores. It's insane. The level of quality that these episodes are bringing are unlike any we have seen before. Let's hope she's all yak continues the great streak. So what are your feelings on Common Ground? If you're a stepson or stepdaughter to a second or even third new parent, how does this episode relate to you like it does to me? And are you or are you not a sports phony? For me, it's obvious. My disability kind of stops me in a traditional sense. But let me know down in the comments section below how you feel, and make sure to click that subscribe button and hit that bell to continue getting new 26 9 to 5 season 9 reviews every week at this time. Until next time, everybody, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana, and I'll see you next week.